Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the studies of the Spiritist magazine. What a blessing and an honor to be with you today. We'll be talking about issue 51 of the Spiritist magazine. And today's article is titled Love and Freedom. However, before we go to the article, let's talk a little bit about the website. So where can you get all of these wonderful resources available to you free of charge, either on a PDF format, a physical copy of the magazine, which would look like this, or you can download the app for your phone, for your tablet, so on and so forth. This is the website of the Spiritist magazine. If you were to browse the issues, we're going to look at issue 51. And then if you go to the link, you can download the PDF version of the magazine to your computer. That's usually what I use to talk to you because I want to show to you there's a very easy way for us to use these teachings in our homes, in our daily studies, because we need to feed and nourish our souls every day with good content, with content that is uplifting versus all passively accepting all that is given to us by our many devices that we are connected to. So we have to choose actively the good messages, so on and so forth. We've talked about this one before. Let us avoid slander. So let me make a note to add the link to this video in the description box. Peace and light is another one that I believe we talked about. Watching and praying. There's just so many beautiful resources. Pollution and psychosphere is another article we talked about before. The Obsessor Grandmother. This is from the book 15 Past Lives by Amalia Domingos Soler. Beautiful stories for those books that I participated on the translation of. You can find it in the domain of the word. And so much more stories about Chico Xavier. And for those who are young at heart, young and younger heart, if you have children, you can use the teachings of the magazine as well. For both either young and old, you can read them the stories and you can talk about the different ways to teach the Spiritist teachings, to teach the children that we are more than the physical existence. For this personality, your individuality is much greater than this current personality that we are living in with as well. So if you were also to see here at the top of the webpage, you have a link to the App Store and the Google Play Store where you can download the app for your devices. The link to the Spiritist Magazine Facebook page where these teachings will be stored in the different playlists. You'll be also notified when new issues are released. And of course, all of the teachings are brought to us by a team of volunteers. We're all working. We don't charge for our services. We are here donating our time in order to bring these teachings to you. So if you have the ability or would like to do so, you can support the Spiritist magazine and its mission by clicking on the donate button. If you prefer to contact us, you can have a contact form here. You can type in your name, your email address, right? And then you can type us a message. Let us know how you would like to be part of the Spiritist magazine team. What kind of content do you like to see? You also have an email address that you probably cannot read here, but it's spiritistmagazine@gmail.com. That is on the screen as well. What a blessing, dear friends. So many resources for our use. Without further delay, we chose an article titled Love and Freedom by the Spirit Abelard through the medium Mr.Roze. And this is a short article originally published on Kardec's version or original Spiritist magazine version. Check my settings here to make sure everybody is good. So I'm using the PDF version. So this was published in April of 1860, curated for you and I by our dear Allan Kardec. Our gratitude to him, March 31st. His article will first air in the month of March of the year 2022. However, if you're watching this on demand, remember the teachings of the magazine are encompassing and timeless. The Spiritist teachings are timeless, so if you're reading and listening to this many years from now, that is also applied to you and I, and we can always turn. As we experience this transition, the turmoils around us, the inspiration is for us to think of ourselves as the individual, immortal spirits that we are currently in this physical existence, in interaction with other incarnated spirits and our spirit friends that are discarnated. So they're spirit per spirit. You and I are spirit per spirit and physical body. And while it's difficult, yet joyful to be alive today, we have a lot of challenges in this planetary transition. If you go to the book, the Gospel According to Spiritism, you can most definitely find the chapter that talks about there are many mentions in my Father's house on the many worlds in this universe and the hierarchy of worlds. As much as if you go to the Spirit's book, item 100, you'll find the hierarchy of spirits. You can read and see where you are. You can look at the characteristics of good spirits and then aim your reincarnatory journey to learn those skills so we can progress. We also have the different worlds and globes all around the universe in different categories. And our planet is a planet of trials and expiations in this planetary transition into a world of regeneration. And that was brought to you and I by Kardec back when he codified, when he put together, he curated all the teachings of the Spiritist doctrine and the 5 books, the main 5 books, and the Spiritist magazine, and some other smaller books such as What is Spiritism and Spiritism in its simplest expression, as well as his posthumous works. The superior spirits back then in 1850s, 1860s taught us that this planetary transition is occurring. The challenges and things we're seeing today are not new. They're not new to humanity, but they might be new. We're re-experiencing it today. It can be challenging. So today we're going to be talking about love and freedom because we want to work the muscles of love inside of ourselves so that we can be better stewards of the resources we are granted, that we can be better stewards of our message of peace, our message of love towards one another. After all, this is one lifetime, and we do not know when we would be finding ourselves in a different lifetime. And also, we are blessed with forgetfulness of the past, so we don't know where we were in a different lifetime. So we're all interconnected. What you and I do affects others. What happens around the world affects where you live today. So we want to build the muscles of love and kindness, because that's what the superior spirits tell us. That's what we are heading. So if you go to the book After Death by Leon Denis, I will also leave the link here, because I've done a program on his chapter about love. And he says on that chapter, the love is the glue that keeps all, I'm paraphrasing, that keeps all that you and I see and don't see together, is that unifying it glues, and love radiates, and for the center of love that radiates out in the universe is God. So God's love sustains all that is. There's way more goodness than lack of goodness, what we call evil. Sometimes we refer to it as ignorance, because that's what evil is the lack of knowledge of the God's laws, and when we choose to not act in accordance with the laws of God as well. So I'm going to leave those links in the description for you as well, so that you can go back and listen to those resources for our study. So let's talk about love. What is this message by the Spirit Abelard? And we thank him, Allan Kardec, who incarnated on March 31st, 1869, for bringing this blessed teachings to you and I, so we can today, in 2022, look at it with a different lens. The Spirit Abelard tells us, God is love and freedom. It is through love and freedom that the Spirit draws near to God, near God. Through love, the Spirit develops at each existence new relationships that bring the Spirit closer to unity. Through freedom, the Spirit chooses the good that brings it closer to God. Take it all in. God is love and freedom. So we do have free will, relative free will, because true free will, just God. Our free will is what we do choose to do today within the constraints of where we are dictates where we're going to be. But what we did in the past dictated where we are today, multiplied by the grace of God. Therefore, our free will is somewhat constrained because we are reaping what we sowed in past lives, both what we did and what we failed to do. So through love and freedom, we draw ourselves nearer to God, which is the goal of this and many other lifetimes, to become a spirit that is without the attachment we have to our physical senses, to this physical life, to the traits that characterize a spirit that is more impure than pure. When we bring ourselves to defend selfishness and pride, and we go about our days only thinking about ourselves, we are preventing our spirit from experiencing this march forward towards God. Through love, we develop new relationships that will bring us closer to this unity. And through freedom, we choose the good that brings us closer to God, and we are also able to choose the lack of goodness. So let's reflect upon this. How is our relationship with others? Is it due to the fact that we love them? Are we using them? Are we harming them? Because if we think about this, many existences in the relationships we are building are the ones we choose to sever or break up. Freedom is allowed, but then there is a cost to the freedom that comes in the form of the different trials and expiations and tests that we have to undergo through this lifetime. So today, when I'm here and I read this, how does it make me feel? Am I feeling this love? Not the temporary selectivism of hitting like on a post when I see someone suffering, but I'm really envisioning myself as an active agent and co-creator in a lesser plane, as André Luiz says, with Jesus, with the superior spirits. Am I really diminishing my own needs and giving what I have extra to others? What is the freedom that we are choosing today so that we can choose the goodness that will bring us closer to God? Because the superior spirits feel, understand, know of, and come and do what God wants us to do. That's the case of a superior spirit, like a Christ spirit who is creating worlds and in charge of what you and I have today. So when we see what we see outside of the confines of our neighborhoods, which is much easier to do now because we are interconnected, because we have these guys with us at all times, it's much easier for us to see and experience the difficulties and the challenges and the horrific things we're seeing today in our world. And the choice can be to draw up the resources inside of myself and be the actions of love. Choose the good that will bring me closer to God. In my neighborhood, you may not be able to go to a different place and fight their battles, but you're put somewhere to actualize your interaction with matters what brings us the knowledge to reality, right? When we were in the spiritual realm in our errant state, we were learning and made promise, we made plans, and we have experiences. Now today in the flesh, God is asking you to be the best you can today with the people around you, at your workplaces, when you see the need in your community. And then with your thoughts and your prayers and loving vibrations of kindness, we can then be in action, do action farther even than this planet Earth. Because we have to think, dear friends, that around you, your spirit mentor is available, your spirit companions are there, depending on how we choose to spend our time, the things we ingest, the things we bring to our bodies that are harm and carcinogenic, the customs we follow, because that's just what our family traditions do. We have to break away from those things that bring us closer to the flesh and go farther and farther in our ability to extend the help, whatever you are. So love brings you those relationships each existence. It's not very unlikely that we will be today with the people we were with in the past. So what do we need to do? He says, be fervent in the propagation of the new faith. It's a Spiritist doctrine. May the holy ardor that animates you never take it against the freedom of others. The realm, okay, so let's stop here for now. Be fervent in the propagation of the new faith. Are you sharing these teachings you're receiving from Kardec Radio, the Spiritist magazine? Are you reading ever more so that when a friend comes to you with a problem, you can say, hey, I just read this message on this book, and it talks about, divine laws. It talks about how when we act a certain way, we get a specific example. Maybe that person needs to would benefit from reading a book from Emmanuel or a book from Andrea Louise, or you can pick out a book just like Happy Life by Giovanni. You're so small, you can keep it on your bag, on your backpack or your car. You can give it to them and say, let's read this inspirational message, and that's praise. So you're putting into action these teachings. Because we see a lot of sharing of the evil, we need to propagate the new faith today with the resources that we have. And Allan Kardec did this monthly with the Spiritist magazine issues, where he personally made each issue and even left the April issue ready by the time he discarnated on April 31st. So we have to use the means that we have. It's beautiful to be out there and looking at cute pictures of babies and animals, or share a beautiful image of a meal. But are we really propagating the new faith because we feel it as it has helped? The most important way of propagating the new faith is to apply the teachings to our daily lives. Is there hope? Yes, there is. He says, the realm of violence and oppression is over. We are going to overcome this, even though it feels like evil is everywhere. But we're allowing evil in, so we have to be careful about that. He says, the realm of reason, freedom, and brotherly or sisterly love is beginning. That was in 1860, dear friends. It is no longer out of fear and force that the powerful of the earth will henceforth acquire the right to direct people's moral, spiritual, and physical interest, but through love and freedom. We have to band together to understand that love builds the relationships. They are the touchstone for their experiences we have, the opportunities of growth. And then we have the freedom today to choose goodness, to choose to, as Emmanuel brings to us in the book Calmness, which I did a study a little while ago. When we speak, are we choosing to speak with a tone and vibration of peace and kindness within me, or am I spreading the hatred, the vengeance, and the ambition? Am I being selfish in hoarding the resources to myself and my family because I want my cohort to succeed versus the cohort of others? Those are very deep and difficult questions for us to face because we are still entrenched in the physical realm. But the realm of violence and oppression is over. The spirits told us centuries ago. And it's about time that we actually put this new faith, the propagation of the new faith, one step above. You too can be a conduit of goodness because you are co-creator in a lesser plane. The spirits are waiting for us to take up within ourselves the flame of service, of charity, where we are inspired to do things. You can share a message, you can read a message, record a prayer, you can unfollow the things that are not good when you don't feel good about seeing it. You can go take up, pick yourself up, get out of your house and serve. There are so many people in the world in need of service right now. And even though it feels overwhelming, the realm of violence is over. There's way more goodness than evil in the universe. So just look around our solar system. The only planet that is still attached to the physical form, of matter like you and I, is Earth. The other realms are there. There's many different realms and colonies around the Earth that are much more of goodness than lack thereof. Think about the missionaries. Think about the spiritual missions you've read about in the books of André Luiz. The spiritual aid missions coming to the earth would nonetheless are in the earth today, helping those who are suffering from homelessness, from mental illnesses, from physical illnesses, in hospitals, in orphanages, in the streets, in areas of war, in our homes when we have everything but still have that void inside of us. Because that's the call of a deeper meaning versus just having things, doing things, spending our time serving others as well. What a blessing to be with you today, dear friends, and I hope that you enjoy. And this is all the message is. I'm gonna go back and show to you. Be careful because it's so amped up that it would jump off. This message was received at Society of Spiritist Studies in Paris, France. The report was published in the Spiritist magazine by Allan Kardec in April of 1860. Originally published by the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, translated here to you. And that's the blessing of this program and of the Spiritist magazine. Many different ways we can enjoy the teachings and have these teachings bring to us a sense of peace, of kindness, of calm. Remember, Jesus is at the helm. Jesus is guiding what is happening around us, even allowing us to make the poor choices we are making in terms of being hostile, at war with one another in different parts of the world. But He's at the helm. Everything happens for a reason, and it's our job to continue to serve Think about the love we're spreading, the relationships we're building, and choose your freedom. No pun intended, the freedom to choose the good that will draw you nearer to God each and every moment of this day. Dear friends, what a blessing to be with you. Don't forget to visit spiritistmagazine.org where you can find these beautiful teachings. And between now and the next time we meet, God willing, I'll be back with you next week. Stay tuned for the program with our dear friend Carol Correia, who is bringing to you the teachings of the third part of the Spirit's book, Divine Laws. What a blessing to be with you. Stay well, stay safe, take care of others and of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.